And look what happened. It's about to be a ghost town in that new $10 billion, $15 billion building that they built in Playa Vista. It's about to be a ghost town over there.
Leonard, 4 to shoot. Kawhi for the win. Yes! Hot damn! The Clippers win in overtime!
Does that sound like a ghost town to you guys? Look, we all know the LA Clippers have and will continue to be a franchise that is ridiculed by many, and they have definitely had some disappointing seasons, but I draw the line at disrespect towards Kawhi Leonard, because I don't care how many times he gets injured or how many games he misses, every time he returns, you see exactly why he is one of the greatest players in NBA history, and even though he's not in his physical prime anymore, you still can't guard him.
Top 10 in offensive rebounds. He wants top 5 by the end of the year. What a shot by Kawhi Leonard. Leonard drives on Mobley, fades and fires. Oh my!
And we're now seeing Kawhi look like Kawhi again, because after taking some time to get back to his best this season, he might be peaking at exactly the right time, averaging 24 points, 6.5 boards, 3.5 assists on 50% from the field and 40% from 3 over his last 13 games, which is also around the same time his minute restriction was lifted. Not exactly a coincidence, and it's not just Kawhi either. The Clippers as a whole are all peaking at the right time, because when you add this version of Kawhi to a team with James Harden, Ivica Zubac, and Norman Powell, who are already playing at an elite level for much of the year, well, you start to see a team that is winning at an elite level, with the Clippers now 8-2 over their last 10 games, to go along with a top 3 net rating in that period of time. And just getting back to Kawhi, you saw the best of Kawhi in a recent win against the league leaders in Cleveland, with Kawhi going off for 33, 7, 4, and 4 steals. Just look at him here against Dean Wade with the face-up. Wade does a good job at stopping him from getting to his initial spot on the baseline, but Kawhi has a counter for that, because he then spins back inside, and that's money. Or in this play this time against Mobley, look at him drive hard right to the baseline, and that bump before the spin and fadeaway. This is poetry. Kawhi Leonard is a basketball poet, and this is why he will always be an unstoppable scorer when he is on the floor. Because sure, he's lost a step, or 2, maybe even 3, but he has so much strength, such great footwork, and such incredible touch that there still is no answer for him in the mid-range, and you are still at his mercy because of that. That's without mentioning the fact he has the ball on a string. You can talk about the Paul Georges and Kevin Durant's of the world for their ball handling at the forward positioning, and sure, they have more flair, but Kawhi has some serious handling juice as well. Just look at him here in transition, go behind the back into a spin move, and just the little hesitation to freeze the second defender on the step back too. You're seriously going to tell me this guy isn't one of the most skilled players ever? Well, if you don't want to admit Kawhi is one of the most skilled players ever, how about the point guard of this team, who many considered washed entering this season, who many thought was too old to pay a big contract? Well, one thing about James Harden, you can talk about him staying out till 4 a.m. at the club or whatever kind of stories people say, James Harden is always available and he is always going to perform over the course of the regular season, and we're seeing that again. He can't get to the rim like he used to, but he's still a genius playmaker, a high volume 3-point shooter, and someone that is going to feed his big man, which is exactly what he's doing, because you can't talk about this Clippers team without mentioning the guy in the middle. Did you see what Ivica Zubac did to Evan Mobley and Jarrett Allen the other night? You aren't supposed to have 28 and 20 against those two guys, but Ivica Zubac has established himself as one of the best centers in the NBA, because while Zoo has been great all season, over his last 11 games, he's literally turned into Zoo Alcindor, averaging 21.5 points and over 12 boards a game on 65% from the field, and he doesn't just finish lobs or layups at the rim. No, he might have the best touch of any big not named Nikola Jokic in the league. Look at him on this play getting the ball against Bam. It's that one dribble right before then rising up, and it's the elevation he gets that makes this an unblockable shot. Or look at him here getting the ball against Allen on the block. That quick move inside before stopping on a dime and pivoting back outside. Is that Akeem Olajuwon or is it Ivica Zubac? Zu Alcindor? Kareem Abdul-Jabbar? I see no difference. All three are unguardable in the post. Not to mention, he plays both sides of the ball. He can block shots. He is a massive presence around the rim on both ends, using his size to not just block shots, but alter shots. He's huge on the glass, a major screening presence, and like I showed you, a seriously gifted finisher within 10 feet of the basket. And I haven't even mentioned Norman Powell. There was a stage in the season where you could have made two genuine arguments. Norman Powell was the Clippers' best performing player, and he was playing at an all-star level. He hasn't quite returned to that level, but 23 points per game on 49% from the field and 42% from three, yeah, if he's your third or fourth option on the floor, teams are going to have some serious problems trying to guard you. And it's only gotten more difficult for teams since the trade deadline, because as someone who loves Kawhi Leonard, I've always had a soft spot for this Clippers team, but that spot just got a little softer with the signing of Bogdanovic, because after a slow start to his career as a Clipper and a bad season in Atlanta, there were some fears that he might have been washed. Don't fear anymore, because Bogey is back and the LA Clippers have gotten themselves one of the best shooters in the NBA, and a guy who you know won't be afraid of the moment in the playoffs. I mean, just take it from him, he's played in some big environments, but forget about where he's played, he is shooting the cover off the ball right now, averaging 14 points, nearly 5 boards, and shooting 55% from the field, 52% from three, including a perfect 8 of 8 in the win over the Cavs. And he's more than just a three-point shooter. Watch him here against Sam Merrill, just bodying his way closer to the rim, and it's always going to look nicer with the bank. Or how about here off the pass from Batum, getting the screen from Zoo, and then just the pull-up jumper in the face of the 7-foot Mobley. And he was just so hot that he was hitting anything and everything, like here where Kawhi gets trapped at half court. Bogey gets the ball off the scramble, and after wriggling free of Mitchell, he then manages to float it in over the top of Jarrett Allen and Darius Garland. There will be a game, there will be multiple games in any given playoff series where Bogdanovic and Norman Powell will absolutely light up a team from three-point range and even from the mid-range. Those guys are lights-out shooters, and surrounding James Harden, Kawhi Leonard, and Ivica Zubac with shooting like that is a recipe for success. I haven't even mentioned the fact this team has Ben Simmons. I mean, that actually makes me sad. 4.5 points per game, 18 minutes a game, 0-point games consistently. Is it even worth mentioning? I mean, there is a chance in a series that Ben Simmons could be useful with his size, with his defensive ability. He can still play make a bit, but man, the less said about Ben Simmons, the better. Because realistically, he's just one of many guys that could be useful with their defense. Derek Jones Jr., Nicholas Batum, Chris Dunn. There is a plethora of wings on this team that have the ability to change a quarter, a half, maybe even a game with their defensive intensity. And this is what is so great about this Clippers team. Not only do they have top-end talent, but they have depth, they have wings, and I think they have a team built for the postseason. All of it obviously stems on the health of Kawhi Leonard. Now, if you made it all the way to the end of the video and want to see more content like this, consider subscribing, dropping a like on the video would be cool. Most importantly, have a great day.